So I've been looking for a laptop which has like a good performance and a good battery life as well. So for my needs, what I do every day is like basic coding and some multimedia and some like I barely play games on my laptop, so I use my computer for that. But the most use case I had was like I needed a laptop for like my work purposes, so, and I also needed a good battery life so that I can carry it and use it anywhere on the go. So I was in the market to look for other Windows laptops, but I couldn't find any with very good battery life. I mean, there are some good Windows laptops out there, but I couldn't find any with the good battery life that I was looking for. So I stumbled upon this deal of MacBook where it was going for around 70k at that time. So I thought I'll pick this up. So here is a video of which I have brought the MacBook Air M1, and this is currently going on for a sale for around 50 to 60k. I probably made a loss on buying it back then, but it is what it is. And so I'll give you a quick rundown of how I think about this laptop within these past months. Like, is it any good, or should you get this, or should you go for the MacBook Air M2? So let's talk about the display first, like, as this is the thing that you're gonna look at the 90% of the time you're gonna use a laptop. So the display of a MacBook M1 is really good, and like you can definitely find some laptops with AMOLED displays here in this price range, but the MacBook display is not bad. Like, if you have like around 300 nits to 400 nits of brightness, and the color reproduction is really good as well. You have multiple color picture profiles that you can choose, and the display is also color calibrated, so you won't have any issues with your Photoshop work or video editing work. So I wouldn't recommend using this laptop for video editing, because like it only has 8 gigs of RAM. You can definitely do a video editing in this, but it will definitely cost your SSD some read cycles, which you're going to need, because you're going to use this laptop for more than 4 to 5 years if you're like me. So, and that SSD that you have inside of this particular laptop is soldered in the motherboard, which you cannot replace. If that dies, the laptop dies with it. So that's the problem that's the biggest problem that I have found after buying this laptop. And except that, I don't really have any complaints. Like, the laptop performance is really good, even though a MacBook M1 came out like a few years back, and we have like M4 coming out this year. But yeah, the performance still is really good. You will not find any hiccups in day-to-day tasks, like running code or code compilations. If you want to run multiple instances of, like, let's say VS Code, and you want to run a back-end server and a front-end server, and you want it to be smooth, so this laptop can definitely handle that easily. You can also do your mobile app development, which I was doing for like a couple of weeks using iOS emulator, so that was pretty smooth as well. And I usually, while using heavy tasks, I usually got a battery life for around 7 hours or so you can definitely use this laptop for longer if you have little to like lower tasks, like if you only use Chrome and you have multiple browsers open and you're just browsing away and watching YouTube videos. So this is definitely going to last you like around 8 to 9 hours easily. So on my case, it did not happen. I saw other people get that life, but I was getting around 8 hours or so every day constantly. And currently, on my current usage, I usually get a battery life of 7 hours ish every day. So I like, if I start to use a laptop around morning, so, and like in my usage, like I use it for a couple hours and I let it sleep, and then I use it again, so that way it lasts for a whole day so easily. So I plug the battery back into charge like around morning when I start using the laptop, and then I take it out and use it for a full day. So the build quality of the MacBook Air M1 is very good. In fact, not just the M1, all the MacBooks have really good build quality, so you'll have no complaint when you buy this laptop or anything. And the laptop is very sturdy. There are no flex in the chassis. You cannot like flex it. There is no dead flex as well. Yeah, it's just a good, well built laptop. So the multimedia experience of this laptop is really good as well, because the speakers that you find in this MacBook Air M1 are very good, and they have very good quality of it, and the punch is really good as well. Even though the M2 speakers are an upgrade to this one, I still think the M1 speakers are good as well. If you compare it to the competition, the MacBook speakers will blow anything out of the park. Like if it's in this price range, 50 to 60,000, if you compare the Windows laptops, MacBook speakers will come out on top of that. So after all this, like all the good points of the MacBook, let's talk about some of the downsides on why you might not get this laptop. You should go for the M2. So the first point would be the laptop is currently like few years old, so you will definitely get a lot fewer OS updates compared to the M2, and the M2 has a bigger and a brighter display than the M1. So if you use the laptop outside, you definitely going to notice that brighter display, which is like around 500 nits in the M2. And as for the processor, the MacBook Air, I mean the M1 and M2, the processor itself, the performance doesn't vary much. Like there's a 10 to 15% performance difference between the both of them. But the thing where you will notice performance difference is in the graphics department in the M2, because it has a much better graphics chip inside, which is actually a system on chip, like it is built inside the M2 itself. So these are the points. If you want to buy an M2, you should go for it, and if you have the budget for it, you should definitely go for that. And if not, and you're finding a laptop like around 50 to 60 or 50 to 60 range, so you should definitely have a look at the MacBook M1, because this is a great laptop for the budget, and if you can find it within this price range, I think it's a bargain. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.